Henry Wade, the district attorney of Dallas County from 1951 to 1987, defended the Texas law that prohibited abortions unless the mother's life was at stake. Normally McCorvey, better known by the pseudonym Jane Roe, was the plaintiff in this lawsuit. However, her struggles began long before this case. She was raised by her violent alcoholic mother until she became a ward of the state. She was raped on multiple occasions and even identified as a lesbian. At age 21, after already giving up 2 babies to other people, she was living with her father when she consensually conceived another child. Her friends advised her to say that she had been raped so she could get a legal abortion in Texas. Due to the lack of police evidence, this claim was dismissed. She also attempted to obtain an illegal abortion before she was referred to her lawyers, Linda Coffey and Sarah Weddington. It took them 3 years to get this case to the Supreme Court, and McCorvey never appeared at a trial. On January 22, 1973, the court came to a 7-2 decision in favor of Roe. The court decided that abortion was a fundamental right under the Constitution. However, they did place some restrictions on it based on what stage of pregnancy the mother is in. In the first trimester, the mother and her physician make a decision to abort the baby. During the second trimester, the baby may only be aborted if it possesses a legitimate threat to the health of the mother. In the third trimester, abortion is always state-regulated because of the baby's vitality. Many people are strong supporters or opponents of this decision. Proponents argue that the right to an abortion is vital to the preservation of women's rights, personal freedom, and privacy. Opponents argue that life begins at conception and therefore abortion should be legal under no circumstances.
Since the ruling of Roe v. Wade, many cases have been brought to the court. One of the most important of these cases was Doe v. Bolton, its sister case having been decided the same day. This case defined the use of the word health in the Roe v. Wade decision. Health was defined as all factors, physical, emotional, psychological, familial, and the woman's age relevant to the well-being of the patient. This health loophole allows abortions on request during all 9 months of pregnancy for virtually any reason, rather than just the first trimester as previously defined by the court. Later, in 1989, during Webster v. Reproductive Health Services, the language from the Roe v. Wade decision was further amended. During this trial, the court deemed that life begins at conception. Due to this ruling, 4 justices urged the reconsideration of the Roe v. Wade decision. Nothing would come of this, though, until 1992, during Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania v. Casey. It was during this trial that Roe was reaffirmed. They did make one change, though. They changed the word privacy to liberty on an alleged constitutional interest on the basis of stare decisis, let the decision stand. The court wanted to avoid the appearance of vulnerability to political pressure. Still, 4 justices dissented from Casey's reaffirmation of Roe. These were not the only cases during this time, though. In 1980, during Harris v. McRae, the Hyde Amendment was upheld. The Hyde Amendment states that public funds are only given to cases of abortion involving danger to the mother, rape, or incest. Later, in 2000, during Hill v. Colorado, sidewalk counseling within 100 feet of a healthcare facility was prohibited. And in Gonzalez v. Carhart in 2007, a nationwide ban was placed on partial abortion, a form of late-term abortion. These cases largely impact our society today. The pro-choice and anti-abortion movements are in constant conflict. Because these 2 movements will never stop battling to defend their causes, there will be many more trials on this subject to come. I believe Roe v. Wade will be revisited often in reference during other cases because it is a landmark case. Its decision may be challenged again, but I don't think it will ever be overturned. This idea is based off of the explanation for the Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania v. Casey case. The court decided to let the Roe decision stand because they wanted to avoid the appearance of vulnerability to political pressure. I think they will still want to avoid this vulnerability both now and in the future.
Ultimately, I disagree with the court ruling in this case. I consider myself a strong proponent of equality for all, and to me that includes unborn babies. I believe that life begins at conception and that everyone deserves to have a birthday. A lot of people assume I'm ignorant or misinformed because I identify as pro-life. However, I've actually done a lot of research on the subject. A lot of people only condone abortion in the case of rape, but only 1% of abortions are done for this reason. One of the reasons that people present is that pregnancy and having babies is expensive. Our country has programs in place such as Medicaid to help people in this situation, and adoption is always a viable option. There are many couples in this country who can't have a baby and wish to adopt an infant. Finally, I believe that abortion is fundamentally wrong. I've watched videos of fetuses being aborted, and during the procedure they wince and open their mouth like they want to scream, but they can't. I'd have trouble condoning this under any circumstances.